wide receiver, started out as a quarterback in high school. Then he had a pivot to special teams for return and then pivoted again. I want to go over a couple of the lessons from this book, written by Julian Edelman as a memoir. Talk about embracing the suck and what grit can do. Julian has it. He's not a dime a dozen player, and you would never think of him as being a wide receiver. Seeing him in the Super Bowl and how clutch he was for the years that he did it for the Patriots. Here's some of the story arcs throughout it. Underdog roots. Edelman grew up in Redwood City, California. Even as a young athlete, practiced with his dad. Played Pop Warner football, experienced an early competitive success. And that's really what had ignited in his internal drive. His brother talks about that and how different they were and how much he, picked on Edelman, his little brother. Here in high school, he's quarterback. He becomes a dual threat, a key player at Kent State. The period reinforced his belief that hard work beats talent. I don't like when we use the word talent because I don't think that it's a real thing. It's just practice. And he was able to prove it. The way that he was able to prove it is by strictly grit. This guy, no one could outwork him. No one spent as much time in the playbooks. When he was playing for the Patriots with Belichick, he had to start all over. Those conversations that he had with his dad about these other guys have a way up on you. They've been playing the position. You have no idea about the position. Here he was a quarterback, becomes kick return, and now he's a receiver. Now he's just filling in holes and he's being adaptable. He's showing that adaptable creates opportunities, and he seized those opportunities. Whenever it came to him, he was willing to go and face it and fall right on his face and learn from it. So there you got extreme ownership with him. He went the 7th round. A lot of skeptic stuff was about him, seeing his size. He was asked to return punts. Talk about adapt to a new role. Embrace challenges rather than resisting them. Here you got to play with the best. He had Tom Brady, the GOAT, as his quarterback, and he became a clutch player. Somebody that you rely on when the deck is stacked against you. He goes over key contributions in the Super Bowl, how belief in yourself and teammates can drive improbable comebacks. Do you remember that comeback? It was the biggest, was against the Falcons? I think it was against the Falcons. The biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. Embrace the underdog mentality. Use doubts as fuel, not limitations. Adaptability equals opportunity. Team trust and communication. Edelman's respect among the teammates came not from ego, but from proving he could be counted on under fire. Mastery, this one hit hard for me. Relentless drive is powerful, but self-awareness and teamwork can elevate it. How do we know about ego? It's by being self-aware. So here's the connection. Underdog drive builds culture of grit. Not just with you, but the people around you. This is adaptability with operations when I think about like the fire service. When we go on fire calls and medical calls, we have to be adaptable. I heard it from paramedics, it wasn't good. And they said they didn't want to go on the call. And they had told me that they've been on this call before and they only want to go on calls that they haven't been on. To tell you, every time that tone drops, even if you do go on a frequent flyer, somebody that you've been on before, it's not the same call. So we have to look at these as opportunities. And when we can see that, then there's going to be a mindset. There's going to be a change in you personally. Also, this is going to be able to foster cross-training stuff. Every crew member can wear multiple hats. One second you're a paramedic, another you are at the pump panel pumping a fire. This is where communication and trust. On every call, what's the one thing that we can do better on? Communication. It'll always be either one or two. Whenever you AAR, after action report, or about a call, it's always what could be better? Communication. Well, how do you do that? That's through trust. And how do you build trust? That's through day in and day out. Is built slowly. Edelman had relied on chemistry with Brady. Well, how did he do that? Do you think it was just a time when they would play during the season? No. Edelman would follow Brady back. And then whenever he needs somebody to pass to, he would go and do it. He would get in his car and he'd go down to where he was at. He kept his mouth shut, which is kind of funny because it's a big talker. At one point, he lived in Brady's old house. He didn't let him know that a bunch of guys were rented out of one of Brady's old homes, and he didn't tell him. But here he would go and meet with him in the offseason just to have him throw to him. He needs somebody to pass to, I'm there. So who do you think he's going to pass to during the season? Kind of interesting. That chemistry isn't built overnight, and it's through honest dialogue, briefings, that culture that you build about allowing people to speak up underneath these stressful times. How do we foster that? I don't know, don't shame people, don't embarrass them. We praise publicly, we critique privately. And then relentless preparation, just like the book. Demand excellence in training. Repetition builds muscle memory and steadiness under pressure. Celebrate preparedness as a key to success, not just heroic outcomes. Here's the deal when we praise. They can see through it. They can tell if it's a bullshit praise, if you're blowing wind up their skirt. It has to be genuine. The book came out in 2018, 7.5 hours long. Gregory Abbey is the narrator. True grit. The relentless pursuit of excellence can't be measured by size and externals, but by inner resolve and belief in your teammates. That's the message of the book. He chronicled his path from underestimated athlete in the NFL. Every stage of his career shows pattern. Obstacles fuel him through setbacks and triumphs. He argues that relentless determination, coupled with adaptability and trust, is the key to achieving greatness. Amen, brother. All right. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.